As I walk my neighborhood, I see the streets are littered with paper and remnants of fireworks that have been blasted off. I live in a community that is mostly, you could say, probably um, I can't make a real judgment on it. I will just say that they're probably not native-born U.S. citizens. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what we've been taught and what has been perpetrated, especially over the last few weeks and few days, with the signing of this bill, I won't call it what it's been titled as because that's a lie. Another lie. People are blowing off fireworks, celebrating what? I don't think it's so much a celebration as it is just an opportunity to light something on fire and make something go boom. Not even legally, because 90% of the fireworks that went off until 1 o'clock in the morning were not legal. And actually most of them sound like, well, not most of them, but a bunch of them sound like they could have been literally gunfire and not fireworks. People are blowing off fireworks in celebration of a holiday that they don't understand. A holiday that wasn't not even created to represent them, especially the ones that are, again, that are immigrants in an immigrant community. You're just blowing up stuff to blow up stuff. Education. People are lost for their lack of knowledge. People are fooled and bamboozled from not being educated. I just returned from a trip abroad, and it was interestingly enough, as I sat through, I was in another country, they had set up this lounge area, and it was celebrating the 4th of July in America, where they were trying to give away free hot dogs with the red, white, and blue banners and the flags and stuff. Well, I was there for about 15 minutes, and I imagine the kiosk for the free hot dogs had been up all day. I got there late in the afternoon. They just shut it down because I think most of the people there didn't even understand what it was supposed to be, and nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them. The reality is what this country used to represent. It doesn't even represent that anymore. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. I deserve the rights of being born here. But I also deserve the rights of free speech, which is supposed to be represented in the Constitution that this nation was based on, built upon, but has been trashed and thrashed by this administration. Wisdom, and with all wisdom get an understanding. These are all biblical quotes. I can't take credit for them. But learn. The Bible also says, study to show yourself approved. In other words, study the truth. It's sad. It's sad. Grab and go. See people leaving in record numbers. But then people are going to have, the ones that can't leave and have no understanding about what's going on, are having their rights stripped away. Yes, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I have a decent job. I don't mind paying for people who need help. Of course, that makes sense. But people's benefits are being stripped away. You talk about dipping this country into a second world situation, maybe a third world even, where you have, well, you've already got a few people having all the rights and having all the money and the property and all of the privileges. But at this point, it's only going to get worse. Make America great again. great again as compared to when. There's a song written called As Compared to What? As compared to what? Some thoughts for the day. I'm reminded of the Not My 4th of July speech as given by Frederick Douglass, and you have the occupant of the White House now who doesn't even know who Frederick Douglass was. He actually thinks Frederick Douglass is. Maybe somebody has educated him, if that's possible. Frederick Douglass, learn, educate. He recognized and realized it wasn't his 4th of July, as I did as a child running through the streets of Oakland, realizing that they're popping all these firecrackers running around talking about we free. No, we weren't free when that happened. 1776, July 4th, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, my people were still enslaved. And when you say my people, that's that's what you call a mixturado. That's a bunch of different people from all different races and religions, because being a black American, not an African American, a black American, our lineage has been so mixed and intertwined with so much stuff that we had nothing to do with. That's why we called each other brother, because you never knew when you might be running into some distant relative or even your brother. Not My 4th of July, Frederick Douglass. Something to think about.